Okay, so just our outline for tonight. We're just going to first off talk about some of the resources that are available at the council and national level. Go through just some tools around planning and getting yourself organized, tips and tricks, and best practices around outreach, as well as working with schools, community engagement, the importance of onboarding and having new parent coordinators to really help with that retention side of things as well. And then at the end, as I said, save some time for question and answer. So kicking things off, we're going to next 4 or 5 slides here. Chris is going to cover and really talk about our council and national resources. So take it away, Chris.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for letting me be here. Really appreciate it and happy to share. So basically, all you have to really do is go to cpcscouting.org/marketing and it will redirect you to all the goodies and then some that we will chat about tonight. This slide we are talking, you can actually scan that QR code. You can check it out there later as well, or on your phone there. But basically, we have a whole ton of materials available for you to use, and it's the ones that you see here are actually free. So all you have to do is go to cpcscouting.org/marketing, and there are some tabs or some buttons. They say order Cub Scout materials, order Scout BSA materials, and there's a whole order form, and you can order all these things. We've got these stickers and flyers and all this kind of stuff. One of the things I will mention that I think is really has we've heard really good feedback on and has been pretty effective are these little postcards that you see down there, kind of in the bottom, and they are actually like a 5x7 postcards. They're a large format postcard and they're heavy stock paper material. And so what's cool about them is on the back there's this blank section, just kind of like like a regular postcard. And what we can do is fill that in with your event that you're talking about, or what we found is and heard is really great to use on these is where you label out just some of your featured things you might be doing over the next 6 months or a year, whether it's summer camp or some adventures or things you're working on, and kind of doing like a mini calendar. And so what's great is you can hand these out to kids and parents, really parents, right? And then you look really organized. And people really like that. They say, "Wow, these folks are really dialed out." So whether you're going on, you're working on some hiking, or you're working on, just some of the basics or some STEM or whatever it is, it's just kind of a great little promotional tool there. The one thing we don't have right now are these banners. We have a different banner, and it is a community service banner. And it's one of these things that we really want to promote because the strategy really in your guys' world is that really trying to give you resources to have a real big splash in your neighborhood. So there are these really beautiful now serving your community service banners that you can put up whenever you're out doing just even a little service project. And so those materials are there. We also give you links to how you can order these materials from elsewhere as well. So you can actually order your own banners from other places if you want to do something custom. And let's go to the next slide. Although I should talk about those Scout Life mini mags because they're super cool because they're these awesome little mini magazines of Scout Life, and we've customized them. I've customized them and basically stripped out all the ads from National, and I put our ads in there. So it promotes, our horses and Butte Creek Scout Ranch and stuff like that. So it's kind of really fun to see some extra goodies in there that showcase some of the great stuff around the council. Okay, the other thing that we have here is you can quote unquote rent branded gear here for 20 bucks. And what this is you give us 20 bucks and you get all the stuff you want. And the only reason is because it helps me sort of replenish a lot of these things that tend to get well used and well loved, shall we say. So we have a whole variety of materials that you see here. We've got a giant Gaga ball pit. We have the coolest thing that we have, I think, which is literally a magnet, is this Lego Pinewood Derby that you see there on the right. That's a big track. We actually let you guys have these 3-lane tracks and Legos to go with it, and these groovy little wheel sets that fit perfectly on the track. And man, it is a magnet. Adults and kids alike love doing this. And so if you want to do an event, really all the stuff we're going to talk about here tonight is really we're trying to give you some ways that you can just have bring a friend night, just a fun night that's scouty and fun, and that we give you as many of the materials as possible. So you'll see here that we have canopies, we've got banners, we've got these retractable banners, we've got a prize wheel spinner. I've got prizes, basically a million patches that I throw in there for you to give away because kids love those little patches, even if they're old. But we've got stickers and all that kind of stuff. We've got rain gutter regatta kits. We've got tons of water rocket launchers, and all you have to provide there is our 2 liter bottles and sort of crafty items to launch those. We give you the bike pumps for it and the water bottle rockets and or the rocket launchers. And then we also have things like slime kits too. So if you want to do something like that, which of course, parents may not be super fans of, but the kids love it. So we also have a couple of other things you'll see on the page that we have like a portable arrow of light crossover bridge that's really, really neat. And we have other things as well. And you get anything you want for $20. Basically, you give us $20 and you have it anything you want for that event. So it's kind of like $20 per event. I'm actually going to be using this for my scout troop because the kids love Gaga Ball. So it's sort of a way for them to just invite their friends, just come and play Gaga Ball. We also have this inflatable archery set it's huge, it's beautiful. You do have to have a range master if you're actually doing archery. However, one thing we're experimenting with literally at Cinco de Mayo this weekend is instead of archery is using these little balls that you can throw at the balls that are floating around in the inflatable archery, and we'll see how that goes. So then you don't have to have a range master necessarily. So anyway, let's go to the next slide here. Okay, the other thing you're going to see on the marketing page is a marketing toolkit, free access to a marketing toolkit. That marketing toolkit is actually our Canva account. If you know what Canva is, or if you don't know what Canva is, I guarantee someone in your pack, or if anybody's listening that's not true, they probably know what Canva is. It is an online design tool that literally I pretty much create everything in it. It is fantastic. And what's great is basically all you do is you click on that little button and you sign up and it will send you the login for it. Then all we ask you to do is to create your own folder in the Canva account. And inside there are photos, there are templates, there are layouts, and Canva has all these things. Like you see the thing on the right there, join us for our pack meeting. That wasn't something I created. That's just some pumpkin Thanksgiving fall template that somebody grabbed to use for their own thing. So what's great is you can build your own pieces as well. And what's nice about it too is you can poke around and see what everybody else is doing and literally just make a copy of it and put it into your folder and even just swap out the pictures and stuff. And let's go to the next slide because I think the next one talks about printing. So while those other things that you can order on the order form are free, and then the rentable stuff is just $20, we're also offering this as a service. If you want to do custom pieces, we have these really beautiful printers that can do a lot of stuff. They can hole punch, they can fold. We can print on 11 by 17s, so larger kind of like posters, if you will. So we can do a lot of that. And I know from my own experience as a scout leader that, going to Kinko's it ain't cheap. So we're trying to make it so that it's just a few cents a page if you want to do some pieces, especially just kind of like larger format pieces, or you really want to have some trifolds or something like that. So go ahead and all this information is there actually on the marketing page as well. So you'll see this. You don't have to remember all this stuff, and we'll send out the deck too. But go ahead and go to the next one here. The other thing that you'll see on that page is a link to the National Brand Center. And what's super groovy about the Brand Center right now is all the Cub Scout stuff has our kids in it. So we did a photo shoot. See, I don't know if any of your kiddos were there because I can't remember his name who were there last year. But the National came out, did a photo shoot at Butte Creek, and they did one. We took them to the to the forestry center and to the arboretum and walked around and took lots of great photos. So it's really fun. Is you might see some of your kids or some of the kids you know in these photos and videos. There are tons of materials there. So if you're not seeing something that we have, there is just a plethora of them. They also have all of the Adventure On materials as well. And we can print out these things for you too. So you can just go there if there's like a flyer you like. You can send it to us as well, and it's also a way for me to kind of see like, well, what are people wanting us to do? Because I'm always open to creating new things that you guys want that are branded, specifically for the Cascade Pacific Council or your Scout unit. But there's tons of stuff there. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide because this will tie in as well. Oh, we're going to talk about something else later. But basically, they have videos and things like that. They have tons of pieces you can use on social media. So that's what's there too. Okay, next up.
Yeah, and the whole idea is to make sure everybody knows that these resources exist and tools because reinventing the wheel for a unit, is a lot of work and trying to create some of these things from scratch. And so, really appreciate the work that Chris and his team are doing at the council office to support all of the units, throughout the whole council. And then, Fernanda, I know you're going to take these next couple of slides to talk about some of the planning efforts.
Awesome. Thanks, Rick. Thanks, Chris. All that awesome information. Couldn't do it without you. So I'm gonna be talking about recruitment and retention calendars. The biggest information that I've been receiving from a lot of units is to avoid recruiting in the summer. A lot of families would love to join, but may have prior commitments, family trips, or may have visiting family that makes it a little bit difficult for them to join at that time. I would highly recommend is recruiting of all of March and early April. It gives our units or our new families a chance to go to meetings, go to events before summer camp to see if that's really where they would like to join. It also is March is our council spring recruitment month. So a lot of our DEs and our council is alert that we're going to have high needs for resources, support, and all that, as well as for early April, as for we have camporee and spring break. It gives our units a chance to meet with individuals meetings, but also give them ideas of what's going on within the next couple of months. We also have what I would recommend is planning a month or two before join night. This gives you a chance to reserve those join night activities from the council office that Chris was just informing us about renting out those $20 equipments. They do require at least a 2-week notice before your event just to make sure that they have the supplies as well as any other unit that is using that is able to be rented out. We also gives a month of two of chance of ordering flyers and supplies to know what is needed, how much is needed, and where you would like to organize those at your join night. It also gives a chance to organize who will run which activity or who will connect with parents about questions. So it gives you a chance to go to your adult volunteers and ask them if anyone's interested in running an activity section. So for example, the Legos track, that would be one that you would want a leader at, or maybe an adult at the sign up sheet just to answer any questions they may have. We also give families a chance to add join nights to their calendars rather than last minute, and also have a chance to spread the word in social media as well as around the town. So maybe flyers being printed out 2 months before and have it all around town to give it a chance for families to check their calendars and add it to their potential activities. Awesome. If you could go to the next slide, please.
Mhm.
Thank you. We also have fall recruitment. Excuse me. And we have a good little idea of a timeline here. So June 1st will be a great time to order the forms and go live for the first aid kits and promo materials. We also, around July 15th is when the first aid kits orders are due, as well as any custom brand kits and promo materials produced will be available. August 1st is when all the materials are due. and it just goes down so forth and so forth. So first aid kit, selling materials, promo materials are available for pickup at Roundup. And in September, that would be the date of or the month you'll have your unit open house night, and it gives you an idea of what a meeting planner looks like at that website link. And then there's also optionals if you would like to sell first aid kits to neighbors, families, or friends being while leaving scouts be scout prepared door hangers on your neighbors' doors. Awesome. Next slide.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Now, Melissa, who I think has one of the more innovative packs when it comes to just a constantly on recruiting effort. And as I mentioned, is our new district membership chair. She's going to talk to you about some best practices just around outreach and join nights, open houses, and community events. And so, with that, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you, Melissa.
All right, thank you. So there's 4 different kinds of events. There's join nights, open houses, community events, and normal friend activity, which we like to call NFAs. So if you can go to the next slide. So each event is kind of different. The purpose of join nights is for families that have just joined or ready to join or maybe interested in joining. And it's best to, everything I'm talking about is from experience of what's worked for us. We have a structured program that lasts 45 minutes. It has a welcome, which is kind of informal, not like a ceremony or anything, but welcoming everybody. An icebreaker so that people kind of get to know each other a little bit. The program, and then a closing. And you really want to keep it to 45 minutes. And we encourage families to bring kids, and we have a few older scouts like Webelos and AOLs there who lead an activity for the kids, and then the parents step aside with the leadership and gather information, get acclimated to the pack, and we do pass out packets. And with all these events, it's essential to collect contact information, collect emails and phone numbers to follow up within 24 hours. So you can go to the next slide. Open houses are a little bit different. They're more for those who are interested in joining, maybe heard about scouting. You really advertise it, market it within the community. Drop-in style programming and stations. And it really works well to have 4 stations. Stations may include crafts, knots, which are more passive, and then something more active like skits, improv. This is a great chance to borrow that stuff from council. And it's a balance of activities and information. So again, kids are participating in the stations. This is a little different in the adults. In our experience, the adults don't sit down for a meeting as they would with a join night, but we have adult leaders roving around who are connecting with adults. And our goal is to have each adult who is there have a connection with a leader, because we find that connections really draw people in, and again, collect contact information. Next slide. Community events are a little different. This is something like it might be like a farmer's market, Old Town Fair, back to school nights are really successful, those types of things. This is a great place to rent the branded gear and set up a display table with photo boards, derby cars, that's kind of stuff to draw kids in. One thing we do is we have the kids in class A, so they might be in uniform, but the adult leaders are in class B. And the reason for this is that um, adults are more approachable when they're not in uniform. We've gotten a lot of feedback on that and taken some data too, because I really like data. And it's much more successful at these type of events to have adults in more approachable Class B shirts. And then the information to pass out is not a packet. It's just like a flyer, which is much more straightforward and not as overwhelming, and collect contact information. Next slide. My favorite though, and most successful, is normal friend activities. This is the highest success rate for recruitment, but also it's our highest success rate for retention. So our retention rate in our pack is about 90%. And our recruitment is about, on average, about 2 new scouts a month. And the way we've done this is through these normal friend activities. The most important thing is that it's fun for the kids and it's fun for the parents. And you invite the actual pack to the entire pack to the event. Plus, they invite potential families. Plus, you pull from your interest list that you've collected at open houses and community events. We make a Canva flyer that's an image that we're able to text to people, and we encourage our current families to text it to their friends. Um, the key is to do it 2 to 3 weeks in advance, which is far enough in advance, but not too soon where they already have plans. That is the sweet spot, that 2 to 3 weeks in advance. And it's an activity like bowling, hiking, craft nights have been really successful for us. Baseball game, my husband's a baseball coach, so he did like a little clinic where kids as young as 5 hit a baseball for the first time. Kids learn chess. It's just kind of a community event that people feel low pressure to come to, but the adults have fun too. And have potential new scouts arrive 10 minutes early, and you can introduce yourself, kind of give a little spiel. They can meet the leadership, and the key is to pair them with seasoned scouts their age, because those connections are what make people who might be a little hesitant come back, and absolutely no drop off for normal friend activities. No formal things like flag ceremonies, not working on adventure requirements, because you really want this event to be totally an even playing between current scouts and potential scouts, so that people can really see themselves as part of the pack. And the other part of that is both leadership and scouts wear Class B shirts or just regular clothing, because you really want to see them to see themselves there and forecasting their experience in the pack. All right, next slide. And some that have been really successful for us are the craft nights, the game nights. I'll come back to the hootenanny hikes. We have a parent who is a professional storyteller, so he did a night hike and did a story, which was great. Pinewood, not as much, but the Lego one, yes. Rain Gutter Regatta, we did as a bring a friend, and we got 3 scouts. Scavenger hunt, we had a very rainy day that we did a pouring rain scavenger hunt in a park, and the kids loved it, and geocaching. Next slide. Oh, the hootenanny. Sorry, can you go back? So we hold an event annually that's called a hootenanny. A hootenanny is traditionally a Scottish kind of folk gathering, but what it is it's a Western style party. We have a parent who teaches country line dancing. The kids do like the Cotton Eye Joe. We do like a country western sing along with a dad who plays the banjo. So they're singing like country roads, happy trails, that kind of stuff. And then our storyteller dad tells a story. So next slide.
Yeah, and this kind of jumps back to Chris, just some samples of some of the, I think, things you can build to promote some of these different activities.
I love that hootenanny. That's awesome. These tips are great. Thanks, Melissa.
And if
That's
anybody wants to come to our next hootenanny in the fall, please come check it out, because it's a great chance to kind of see it in action. So
what I love about that too is that you're doing an annual theme of some sort. It lets everybody look forward to it, even if they don't join right then and there. But it sounds like you could also have youngers, littles to it too, younger,
yeah, yeah,
siblings,
definitely.
which would be makes it all family oriented, which is awesome. That's great. Okay, well, anyway, these are some of the plug and play themes that you can use anytime. So this comes back to that normal friend activity. This is a semi-normal friend activity, maybe. I don't know. But basically, what we have there at the marketing page too are these themes. Blast off into scouting, which is about the rockets. So if you actually do your own rockets, that's super awesome. I know in some places you can't launch the rockets, so that's why you can also use the water bottle rockets. So there's materials there that are actually for the regular rockets and the water bottle rockets, And these are all just sort of marketing materials you can use for your theme. So for your theme night, again, trying to make it so that this is pretty plug and play, but you could do it any time of the year. Race into scouting, there's regular Pinewood Derby and the Lego Pinewood Derby assets there. You only see one of them here, but those are in the Canva account. So these are all things in the Canva account that you can actually customize with your dates and all of that. We also have some good, really fun Hooked on Scouting materials, which is all about fishing. And you'll see on the page there's some contact information for the angling committee. So the angling committee, the fishing committee, if you will, or you could say you're angling for new scouts, but the fishing committee, or fishing for new scouts. So the fishing committee is really into training folks on how to really have fun fishing. So if you don't know how to do it, don't know how to gut a fish or whatnot, they will teach you. So they have a variety of sessions they've been doing throughout the year, but they're really open to helping you out with that. So those themes are available for you really to use, again, kind of at any time. I love what Melissa is saying about these bring a friend. And I have a question. How often do you do the normal friend activity
Oh, yeah,
nights?
thank you. We do them monthly.
Sweet. Do you do it like on the same week,
So we
or
alternate because we're trying to catch everybody's schedule. Most successful is Friday evenings for any kind of indoor activity. So in the winter, we do craft nights, game nights. We'll do like a chess clinic, and those are on Friday evenings from 5:30 to 7 once a month. And then the other things we kind of vary. So yeah, like for example, next Monday we don't have school. Westland doesn't have school, so we're actually doing a pretty big hike. So yeah.
that's great.
All right, yeah.
And I think somebody else is next. I think that's it for me on that
Fernandez,
one.
up again, talking a little bit about planning and annual plans.
Thank you, Rick. Awesome. Going back to planning, because what are we? Always prepared. Ha ha ha. Anyway, sorry. So annual planning. I always love trying to plan at least a couple months before an actual event. So for example, spring recruitment is around March and April. So planning in January, February, March gives you a good time to figure out what kind of stations you'll like or a date, as well as giving you an idea of who will be there to support you. For fall recruitment is around August and September. We know a lot of open houses with school districts and all that. And also just to put in there, if you have any struggles with getting into school districts or getting any support within your community, please reach out to me. I will be happy to do those calls for you. I would love to do what I can for your unit to succeed and getting those words spread out. So for fall recruitment, that would be around June, July. Yes, go ahead, Chris. Okay, we'll do it after then. No worries. So for fall recruitment, we'll be doing in August, September. So we're planning in June, July, August. And then what I would like to say is that recruitment can happen at any time. So please do not feel like you have to recruit in spring or fall. If you like to recruit in summer, please feel free to. I know there's a couple units out there that like to give out information with glow sticks at those park movies at the park events. So we give them to youth, but also get the information to parents when they get those glow sticks. So it could go from talking to new family and friends in the neighborhood, involved in a community event, as well as volunteering. And then my biggest recommendation is working backwards. So picking the date, location, and time first to have that set and ready for when you do create flyers and for when you do spread the word, as well as securing the location and time for all of your volunteers to know where they will be needed and would love to be supported. Lastly, it's again who will be there to staff as well as support your join night. I love the idea with the Class B shirts at the join nights. I do believe that the uniforms can be a bit intimidating, especially if you're new to scouting. So I think that was such a great idea, Melissa. But also knowing what is your agenda for the night. So planning your activity stations as well as planning what flyers you'll like to give out, how you'll like to introduce your new parents, potential parents, or again, doing the partnering with a youth and getting to know them and creating those connections, as well as what are all the applications and information sheets that need to be created and ready. This gives you an idea of what kind of activities. Again, I'm just circling back to what I was just saying. But it's just giving you the time to reserve those activities, creating those flyers, spreading the word, and just having a more of a successful chance when you plan backwards. So next slide. Awesome. So I gave a little setup idea here for those who may not be maybe new to join nights. So it gives you a good idea of what kind of stations you like there. Of course, your welcome and sign-in sheet. This is the best time to introduce yourself as well as collecting information. Again, 48 hours, I believe that's the best because it's still fresh in their brains of who they just met, and just making that personal connection with them is always a higher chance of getting them involved. Again, station two, I believe this is more for our new families that are not into that may not know scouting, who may not be Eagle Scouts, and just understanding what we do as an organization as well as a unit, again, as well as a district. So we have our Weeblos Woods, our camporees, all those good stuff that we could always promote for units to know or potential families. And then again, we have our two activities. So that could be the Legos Derby as well as those bottle rockets. It depends on what activities you believe will be working best for your unit. And then lastly, we also have a station where you have registration forms. If they're eager, ready to be a scout, they have the information there. And if they have any questions, or as well as just learning when the next meeting will be, and having that information ready and set for those families who are eager and make our units feel like they are prepared to answer any of those questions. And lastly, it's just doing the double check on those applications that are completed. Also, just seeing how the event went. If they have any questions, give them a personal or a contact information. So an email if they ever have any questions. Maybe a small flyer that tells you when is your next open house or any normal friend activities that they may be interested. Just to get that more of a connection with them as well. Next slide. Awesome. So my biggest thing I would also recommend, I know I keep saying recommended, but I believe these are just so amazing information that will benefit all of us, is planning. Planning and knowing what materials that you would like for parents to take home. I did do a couple here. So we have the scouting uniform checklist, just to know what are the expectations for a uniform, as well as understanding what kind of different uniforms they may have, as well as a welcome a new Cub Scout family. It's just more of an information guide in general about our organization, as well as just being a Cub Scout. You could also make one for your unit as well. I know there's a couple packs that make their own policy, procedure, expectation guides, just for families and parents to understand that this is not just a drop off. This is a family organization that you will also be participating as a adult leader. It's just more of putting those expectations ahead of time before they feel like the information wasn't given to them beforehand. Lastly is a annual calendar event, or annual events calendar that gives the families an idea of what it does look like to be a year in scouting. So it could be those hikes or the hootenannies, annual events, as well as just those normal family, normal friend activities, just giving them an idea of how busy, but also how organized the unit is. And they'll feel so much better knowing that they could plan their next year with their calendar to see if it is available to their personal calendars. Awesome. Thank you.
And one thing I want to add too is, as you're thinking about your activities and things you're doing in the community, recognizing so much of what you're doing out in the community is an opportunity to recruit and engage parents and youth. And so, one of the things that the pack and troop that I've been involved with for years, we would march in different parades and we would do different things that was visible in the community. And you've got your unit number on your shoulder and whatnot, but like we never used any of these tools to hand out some of these flyer templates that gave information as you're in those parades and walking up and down the sidewalks. Like we'd pass out candy and stuff. Continue to do that, but think about it as an opportunity to recruit and pass out information and share in your community, or as you're doing different service things in the community where you've got scouts, having them equipped, the parents and scouts that are there to hand out information to scouting aged youth and their parents and stuff too. And so that's where a lot of what Chris covered can come in handy, and having those ordered and ready and available as you're out in the community is just really important. So going to talk too for a few minutes about working with schools, and I know that this can be it's very broad across our district as far as what different school districts will allow, and just kind of what their policies are. And so everybody's gonna have to kind of keep that in mind and what they are able to do within their districts. But whatever you can do to work with the schools to have the flyers that they can send home with kids to promote join nights, whether that be working with the office to just drop those off and share, whether that being working with your children's teachers one-on-one to say, hey, would you be willing to share this, and building those relationships so that information can find their way to the youth and their parents, or working direct with administration and having those conversations too. In areas where it's a little harder, the districts aren't open to sharing those flyers easily, or have other kind of platforms, like I believe it's called, and Chris, correct me if I butcher the name here, but like some district have, I think it's called Peach Jar or Pear Jar. It's something jar, I know, where you can upload those and share them, because the district itself doesn't engage in sharing those and doing them direct. But also partnering with PTAs and PTSOs on having scouts at events, or say, hey, can we get a table to promote at scouting at your event that maybe takes place at the beginning of the school year to kick things off, and engaging that way. And then, I mentioned the virtual flyer distribution through some of the apps that I know different school districts and stuff use. And I know we don't have anybody from Pack 257 here tonight, but their Scoutmaster or Cub Master, excuse me, went way and above and beyond, but he was having a really, really tough time. He'd emailed the principal at a couple of the elementary schools, and wasn't hearing anything back, and was a little bit frustrated and demoralized. But then he just put a scout uniform on, and he showed up at the elementary school and just told the front desk person there that would love to visit with the principal. And so she said, well, take a seat, and when he's available, we can. He sat there for quite a bit, but then when the principal came out, he was so excited to see him, shared his personal story that he was an Eagle Scout. He's like, well, I've emailed you a bunch, and he's like, I'm sorry, I get so much email, I'm so overwhelmed there, but and to help promote scouting within our school, and even introduced him to two other principals and got the ball rolling and stuff there. And so his moral of his story was like, don't get frustrated just because maybe email isn't working as a tool to reach out. Sometimes just showing up, trying to have that one-on-one conversation can open a door, and just thinking through all the different ways that we can try to connect with schools and administrators to kind of push open that door and help to promote scouting in the schools. And then next up, community engagement and social media. I kind of talked a little bit about just major community events, and knowing what the major community events are in your community, and how you can, especially ones that are going to be frequented by youth and children who are a scouting age, and finding ways to get your pack there and visible. And as I said, handing out some of the cards or flyers that help promote scouting and what your unit is doing, and how they can connect with you and find you and make it to a meeting or an activity that you're having. And then social media, Facebook, I'm sure you all are aware, but so many of our communities have local community pages that they can be a little overwhelming when you go there with the level of content that people are putting out there. But in advance of your join nights, trying to get a couple, three posts up on there promoting the event, leveraging parents or whoever in the unit is as promoting membership within your unit, but finding what those those community Facebook pages are, and trying to get content up there. And that's where a lot of the tools and stuff Chris was showing, and the couple of slides ago, the examples about events, using those as the image to catch people's eyes, and then including more information and stuff about those as well. Instagram. Nextdoor is another one that, if you aren't familiar with, people are using more and more to talk about things that are going on in communities, and is just another great one to get information in. Chris talked a little bit about Canva and some of the templates and tools that you can use there, and so I encourage you to explore those and familiarize yourself with really powerful tool that Canva is in terms of customizing and creating images and graphics that you can share. And this is just an example. This is actually from a troop, but Troop 555 in West Lynn. Just some examples of some of the posts that they've done on these local community pages. West Lynn Moms, Like Oswego Moms. In Oregon City, it's Oregon City Chit and Chat, and there's the Beaver Creek Forum and stuff. So just a lot of these things where you can put information out there, note when your meetings take place and where they can find you, and just highlighting some of the cool things that scouts in your pack are doing that might be of interest to people in your local community. And so just kind of some samples of what some of this stuff looks like. And then I'll kind of let Chris talk a little bit about connecting your unit and just leveraging CPC and tying things back there a little bit. I will say there's a lot around social media that we can cover, and I think I kind of look at this as a 101 class on recruitment and promoting membership and scouting. But I think a 201 that we want to look at in the near future is just getting deeper into social media and how social media can be leveraged to promote scouting in our communities as well. So there's a lot more there that we can still cover in this regard, I think.
Right. Let's see here. I'm getting interrupted by a cat that is not my cat. Anywho, so yes, this is a little tool you can see at the marketing page as well, and we had some hiccups in it of late, and I think we've got it all figured out now. But basically, it's this tool that lets us actually post to your social media, and what it does is they're sort of generic posts, but branded posts, kind of like what you see here. We'll do like a series of quotes or whatnot, and it's just sort of a way for us to keep your posts, your feeds fresh. And we always put or typically put a little call to action at the end of it of, contact us, or DM us for more information. DM us being you, not us, the council. So it's kind of a nice little tool to kind of boost it. And we have heard really great feedback, as Rick was talking about. I agree with you, having a little more of a deep dive on this. There have been a lot of units who continually post every week and have found really solid success from just being there on Facebook and Instagram. And it can be simple little quick posts for those who have cubbies, and it's most of you, and you may be worried about showing faces or whatnot, is shooting things over the shoulder. So you're seeing the kid from behind, and you're seeing the activities that the kiddos are doing, and you can kind of pan across everybody, those kinds of things. And people, we've heard from multiple units now that they get leads from social. It does mean you have to kind of monitor it. I am actually the worst in terms of social media for my own scout unit. So honestly, I can't. I need to get a membership chair I need to get a social media chair. That's what I need. Who actually will come to all the activities and take the pictures. But anyway, so it is something. If you can have somebody in your scout unit who's going to be there and just has fun with it, find out if somebody just has fun with doing the social media anyway. It'll be so much easier for that person than somebody who's already wearing multiple hats trying to cover their bald head. So I highly recommend doing it, but this is just another tool that you can use as well.
Thank you. Want to cover that one too, Chris?
Ah,
Just
yes, the pro
tagging?
tip. And if you tag, the reason to tag us is because then we can see it. It'll come into our feed and we can repost it, we can like it, all that kind of stuff too. So that's why you have to, when you're on any of those feeds, just start typing in at CPC Scout and it'll probably pop up as Cascade Pacific Council Scouting America. You just click return and it'll pop up and that'll go into our feeds. We try and do a good job of when we see those is at least liking it and maybe even sharing it. We can't share things that also are not in a public feed, but if you tag us, that will allow us to share in most cases.
All right. And so it's also important as we start to get more scouts into our packs and troops to make sure we're doing the things that are going to keep them around and onboard them well and get them engaged and even just developing parental leadership and stuff. And so a couple of best practices that are important are having a new parent coordinator, somebody within the unit that and it may be the membership, your membership person, or we all wear a lot of different hats for sure, but just having somebody that's designated as a new parent coordinator to connect with those parents, to kind of be their shepherd into the scouting program and be there as a resource so that new parents know who to come to and who can kind of help them navigate, answer questions and stuff. And then also having some sort of a new parent orientation. It doesn't have to be like a big classroom or something with 20 people. We kind of get scouts that trickle in over the course of the year. But just having some sort of formal checklist that we're making sure that parents kind of understand scouting and the different pieces, the different components that they need to know, and not just assuming now that they're in the pack they're magically going to understand everything, and just kind of having that checklist where going through things like and uniforms and patches and just kind of what they mean, what the expectations within scouting in your specific unit are, and just kind of the how things work, so that they feel engaged, they feel properly onboarded, and that they just really understand what's coming up and what's to come and what the annual kind of rotation through different things and different activities typically is in your pack. And then as far as retention, just making sure we're keeping the parents engaged. The more you can do to get them involved and even start to get them into a position of leadership within the pack. It doesn't have to be big things. It's so much of the time I find it's breaking all of the big things within a unit into the smaller things so that people have an area of responsibility so that they feel invested, and it keeps both them involved, keeps the kids involved, and really helps with that retention that Melissa was talking about a little bit earlier. Summer camp, we can always see just statistically the tie between a kid who goes through the scouting year and those who go to summer camp and those who don't go to summer camp, and just the drop off that happens between one year and the next when kids don't participate in summer camp. It's a fun thing. It's what helps to generate that momentum going into the next year. Also, if cost and stuff are ever a concern for families, Fernanda can help at the council level, but there's scholarship resources and ways to ensure that that cost isn't an inhibitor for scouts to attend camp. There's resources within our council to ensure that. And Melissa's already talked about as well. Just having diversity of activities year to year. There's definitely those fun ones that every pack and troop are known for, that they do every year, that people really identify with, or a sense of pride for a unit. But making sure that it's not always just turning over the same calendar every year, and after a couple of years, scouts starting to think, well, and parents starting to think, I feel like we've done this twice, or do we want to do it a third time? And so making sure that each year you're as part of your annual planning, mixing it up and bringing new things in that help with that retention. And then also just keeping in mind your competition in the community. There's so many things that kids can do now, different types of camps even over the summer, but just different activities, and understanding those and how they can complement your unit, and things you can build around. Also, things that you can try to navigate, especially as you get into sports seasons, and where you may not have kids may be playing baseball or playing soccer, and it's how do you keep them involved in the unit when practice for a couple of those months might conflict with activities of the pack, and staying in touch with them, and just really figuring out how you don't lose them just because of one sports season where they may just kind of check out for a little bit, and keep them engaged. And so, with that, we really just want to open it up for Q&A, things that were helpful, that you've heard tonight, and other information that we haven't covered that would be helpful to your unit in terms of recruitment, and really building momentum and success, especially as we finish up the spring and start to think about planning towards summer and fall. If there's additional areas where we can be supporting units here in the district. And so with that, I'll just kind of open it up. And if you have questions, just kind of jump in, and we'll all try to answer them and help you out.
Yeah, Rick Collette here. I've got one question from the council folks and those that are involved in PACs. Do you tend to have monthly PAC meetings? Do you alternate PAC and den meetings? I'm trying to figure out what the good balance is. I don't know if 2 meetings a month with den and a PAC is too much. I'm curious what other people might do.
I can jump in. So we 223 in Westland does one pack meeting a month, and then the den leaders set their own meetings, and it's the expectation is one a month. And then we hold about 1 to 2, sometimes 3 other events. And we found that when you only have one meeting a month, period, you're just not going to retain as many people. When there's 2 kind of structured events, and then there's multiple optional things, we retain the most. So that's the best structure that works
For
All on Jim as well on this one. I know that your pack 710 does a pretty robust program as well.
Yeah, thanks, Rick. Yeah, we have one pack meeting a month. I believe all of our dens have 2 den meetings per month. There's flexibility with the den leaders to work with the families to find a time that works, the sports season conundrum, things like that. Then we also try to have at least one pack activity. Last weekend, we participated in the Sherwood Trash Palooza community pickup. So events like that, and others. And oftentimes we have, several events in a given month. We try to stress to families too that, participate in what you can. Den meetings being your primary focus, because that's where the rank advancement is happening, but then, participating in the other activities as you're able to. Because they can get overwhelming with so many activities as well.
Great.
For 726, we do one PAC meeting a month, and then 2 DEN meetings a month, and then we do a committee meeting every month. And then separately, we'll do an activity like pumpkin patch or rocket launch or derby that will be separate from the monthly items.
Great. All right. Was that helpful, Rick?
Yes, very much so. I appreciate it, everyone. Thanks for your feedback.
All right. Other questions?
Terry raised his hand up on the feed.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it was just not to interrupt anybody getting ready to speak about answering Rick's question. We kind of do the same where we have our first week is committee meeting, and that following Saturday we kind of put together a pack event, whether it's a service project or hike or just hanging out at the park, and then 2 den meetings, and then the third Wednesday is always PAC meeting, so that's always a set date on the calendar for the parents so they can figure out the rest of their schedule.
All right.
One thing that our PAC with PAC 194 down in Wilsonville does that's a little different is that we have a coordinated den evening. So our PAC meets all together on the first and third Wednesday of the month. Generally, the first Wednesday of the month is going to be a PAC meeting, and the third Wednesday of the month is dens. The benefit the families have found is that if you have kids in multiple grades, they only have to coordinate one den meeting, and they've hit dens for all their kids. And we've had a lot of parents appreciating that aspect of having dens nights all be together. We utilize the school, so we're able to use the cafeteria and then have the kids separate off into different areas or use the playground as needed. So that works for us, but it's just a little bit different, and it does have pluses and minuses.
I'll second that we have our den meetings. All of our dens meet on the same night and time and location. The first and third Thursday of the month for den meetings, because we do have a lot of parents who have scouts in multiple dens, and so that does help.
Yeah.
More good stuff. Thank you all.
Mm-hmm. All right. What other questions are on people's minds tonight? How else can we
I'll
help?
pop one in there for Chris. Hey, does that, you were mentioning for the social media connections to the council, the @CPC Scouting. Do the hashtags still work? Hashtag CPC, hashtag Cascade Pacific.
We actually do not the hashtags in terms of us seeing them particularly, because people might use different ones, but it is a good practice still to use hashtags in terms of, hashtag adventure, hashtag Cub Scouts, and those kinds of things to sort of describe. Also, you can actually hashtag Scouting America, and you can tag Scouting America as well. And sometimes they might post your stuff too. I forgot to mention that.
Oh, well, the reason I mentioned that was I was just noticing the stuff that we posted for the district for the camporee. We didn't do the we did hashtags. So we'll remember to do for next time. Or
Right.
maybe we'll just go back and fix it for this.
Yeah, perfect.
All right. Any questions just around the blanking on the exact term for it, but the signups and some of the things that come in online and how to get scouts accepted through that or connect with them, or any questions around that? I know that that's a great area that I think Chris and Fernanda can both help with if anybody's had any struggles there.
So have we fixed the bug with parents signing up? For an example, I had one parent that was trying to sign up as an adult leader, was okayed by our charter rep, but when he was still going through the process, the background wasn't going through, and therefore the payment wasn't going through. So we ended up having to take paper copies down to the council office and have them approved that way. Has the online registration stuff been kind of cleaned up since all the switching around has happened?
Oh, we wish. I think I heard Sherry banging her head against the wall earlier today, as every day. So Sherry's our registrar, and she has been dealing with a lot of issues on the online system because of all these things. And so apologies all around to anybody who's having to deal with that. If you do have problems, just give her a call or pop in, and she can work through it. There, it seems like she's seeing things about every day that are changing. So yeah,
Okay.
sorry about that, gang.
Well, I knew there was some um, a gentleman working with the council and changing the website and putting in new options for registering for events and all that. So I told the lady and the gentleman, just have patience. They're working on things. So I just was curious if we've gotten any closer.
Oh, on events themselves, the events should all be all good. That's a pretty easy thing that we can deal with. But when it comes to registration for, sorry, if it's a registration for unit leaders and positions of that in that regard, there are some hiccups there. Um,
Okay.
and the systems try and synchronize. It's like a whole bunch of, so if one isn't accurate, then the other one's not going to be accurate. And anyway, so
Yeah.
it is a little bit of a mess. But the registration for events and stuff should work okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, before we jump from the Q&A, is there any other resources or information that would be helpful to your packs that we can be thinking about or prepping for future educational opportunities? All right. Well, be thinking about that. I'm just going to put up contact information for several of us so that that you have it as items and questions come up. Our district key 3 there. I've got contact info up for Fernanda, who is our district executive, David, our commissioner, and then myself again as the district chair. And then also Melissa's information as our brand new district membership chair, as getting some paperwork wrapped up, but as she moves into that position as well, which we're really excited about.
Yeah, and I'll say please contact me if you need help planning a program. I'm happy to help. So.
Also, if you're from another district, because I did share this out with all our districts, please contact me and I'll be more than happy to connect you to your key 3 as well.
Oh, thank you. That's a good flag, Fernanda. And then I'm just going to put Chris's information up one last time too, so that you can connect with him if you run into any issues or have questions about templates and stuff. So feel free to take that down or to snap a photo with your phone and not snap a photo, but hover over the QR code so that you can connect with him as well and some of his resources. And then I'll just promote as well. Chris does a lot of great news and information here. Well, Chris, I'll let you explain this. I don't need to cover
Well,
that.
I should. Well, soon you'll actually hear Rick Collette will be on the show. He actually said, "Hey, I'd love to share some of my scouting stories." So what we're doing here, gang, is the podcast. And if you ever come to the office, and you want to see it, and you want to take a listen to yourself, I love showing it off. I love showing the tour of that. So we do a news update at the beginning of each Scouting Expedition podcast, and then we're trying to drum up as many guests as possible to share scouting stories with the world. So anyway, so Rick actually will be one of the folks that we interviewed, and we're actually going to have one on Butte Creek. We have the new, just so you know, this weekend we will have the new camp director for Butte Creek will be on, and just he has some really great, just hearing his story and his passion for Butte Creek will just be really lovely. And so if you've never been, you should tune in, or if you just like to hear what he's all about and what he's got in store for the summer, feel free to tune into that. and take a listen. You can subscribe on any platform and let me know what you think, or if there are problems. I'm all ears and would love to hear what you think.
Thank you. And last two plugs that I'll make is if anybody is interested in participating in district committees, especially membership committee, we're more than happy to add you and have you and leverage your resources and knowledge to make our district and scouting experience in the district stronger. And then also really encourage units to try to make roundtable. We do roundtable 7 p.m. the second Thursday of every single month. We do it at OIT Oregon Tech campus in Wilsonville. We've got a very wide district in that we go from Newburgh to Estacada, and so we try to keep it somewhere that has equal travel for everybody. But Wilsonville, 7 p.m. the second Thursday of every month. We've got on our district website, kind of what the schedule of topics and stuff are. So encourage whoever in your unit might be most relevant to some of those topics to attend, or definitely key 3 as well. But now that we've come out of COVID and kind of pulled back from the Zoom experience, we're finding a lot of success getting through topics and having conversations that are just a lot easier to have in person and stuff again. So really encourage you to attend when you can.